A genuine earthquake is happening right under society's feet, and most people still don't feel the tremors. Right now, millions of women are opening their phones, hitting record, and asking the exact same question with the exact same bewildered face. Where have all the good men gone? They post it on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. The comments explode with thousands of women echoing the same panic. Meanwhile, in quiet apartments all over the world, those missing men are grilling ribeyes, feet up, controller in hand, big stupid grin on their faces, happier than they've ever been in their lives. And they are not coming back. Women genuinely believed men would never survive without them. They were certain that loneliness would eventually crush male pride, that the biological urge for sex and companionship would override everything, that men would crawl back begging the moment the silence became too loud. That was the master plan. That was the ultimate leverage. It worked for centuries, but something broke. The script flipped. Men didn't just survive alone. They discovered that alone is the upgrade. Let me tell you about a friend of mine. 42 years old, senior engineer, solid six-figure income, decent looks, no criminal record, emotionally stable. Exactly the kind of man women claim is impossible to find. Married for 10 years, divorced 3 years ago. In that marriage, he couldn't do a single thing right. Dishwasher loaded wrong, breathing too loud, left a cup in the sink, World War III. Wanted 5 minutes of gaming after a 10-hour shift? Immature man-child. Worked overtime to pay for family vacations. You're never home. Every single action was attacked from a different angle. Home wasn't a refuge. Home was a second job with a boss who was never satisfied and paid in criticism. Today, he lives alone in a clean 2-bedroom apartment. He sleeps diagonally across a king bed. He eats cereal for dinner if he feels like it. He games until 2 a.m. on weekends and nobody lectures him. His blood pressure dropped 20 points in 6 months. His hair stopped falling out. His skin cleared up. He looks 30 again. I asked him last month if he's dating. He laughed so hard he had to put his beer down. Bro, why the hell would I trade inner peace for daily interrogation ever again? That laugh wasn't bitter. It was the laugh of a man who found the cheat code to life. This isn't just one guy. This is millions. The realization hit like a slow-motion epiphany. The game is rigged, and the only way to win is to stop playing. You come home after a brutal day, and before you can take your boots off, you're getting a 30-minute presentation about a sock on the floor. You try to rest, you're lazy. You turn on the PlayStation, you're immature. You work late, you don't care about the family. You buy flowers, wrong color. You don't buy flowers, you don't care. Every choice is wrong from at least 3 directions at once. At some point, a man looks around and understands there is no correct move. The rules change mid-game. The goalposts move every day. The only winning strategy is to stand up, push the chair back, and walk away from the table. You don't do it out of spite. You do it because your nerves, your time, your money, your hairline, your sleep, your dignity are pouring into a black hole of someone else's permanent dissatisfaction. And that black hole can never be filled because the problem was never you. It was never the sock. It was never the milk brand. It was her internal misery looking for the safest target, and you were standing closest. Men are problem solvers by nature. When the relationship is broken, we double down. We try harder. We read books. We go to therapy. We sacrifice friends, hobbies, overtime money, everything, believing that if we just give a little more, peace will finally arrive. We stay loyal long after we're miserable because real men don't quit. We swallow insult after insult, thinking it's noble. And what do we get? More demands, less respect, zero gratitude. We wake up one day, look in the mirror, and don't recognize the tired, beaten stranger staring back. That's when the click happens. Something inside just snaps into place. And suddenly, the silence of an empty apartment doesn't sound like loneliness anymore. It sounds like freedom. It sounds like the sweetest music you've ever heard. You realize that all those years you thought you were saving the family, you were actually just delaying the inevitable while slowly killing yourself. The friends you lost because she didn't like them, gone forever. The hobbies you abandoned because they were stupid, rusting in the garage. The overtime money you earned that disappeared into vacations, handbags, and keeping her happy, gone. The fire in your eyes that died somewhere around year 7 of swallowing daily disrespect, extinguished. You weren't building a life. You were volunteering for slow emotional execution. And the worst part? She knew you wouldn't leave. That's why the disrespect kept escalating. Men are loyal to a fault. We believe in fixing things. We believe in honor. We believe if we just endure a little longer, things will get better. So we stay. 10 years, 15, 20. We become ghosts in our own lives, walking on eggshells in our own homes, apologizing for existing. We hand over the keys to our peace and watch someone else crash the car on purpose again and again, then blame us for the damage. Then one day, it clicks. Maybe it's another screaming match over nothing. Maybe it's seeing your divorced buddy glowing with energy you haven't felt in a decade. Maybe it's catching your own reflection and realizing you haven't smiled, really smiled, in years. Suddenly, solitude stops looking like punishment and starts looking like the promised land. No more interrogations, no more mind reading, no more coming home braced for war, no more being responsible for another adult's emotional weather. Because that's the insane part nobody talks about. Somewhere along the line, men became responsible for women's happiness. She has a bad day at work? Your fault. She gains 15 pounds? You don't make her feel beautiful. Her mother is toxic? You have to manage that too. Her friends are drama? You have to hear about it every night. When did that become our job? When did we sign up to be full-time emotional support animals for another grown adult who refuses to fix her own life? The brutal truth is simple. If someone is chronically unhappy, no amount of flowers, vacations, or being a better listener will fix it. That's their factory setting. That's their default programming. You can be the most perfect partner on earth, and they'll still find a reason to suffer because the problem isn't you, it's them. But blaming themselves is hard. Blaming you is easy. And you're always right there, loyal, taking it, trying harder. A lot of these women aren't looking for a partner. They're looking for a therapist, a daddy, a punching bag, and an ATM with unlimited withdrawals. They bring unresolved trauma, sky-high expectations from Instagram, and a victim mentality into the relationship and expect you to heal wounds you didn't create. That's not love. That's unpaid emotional labor with a side of financial extraction. And the demands never stop growing. Be a high-earning provider, but always available. Be masculine and dominant, but soft and emotional on command. Be ambitious, but never put work first. Have abs, but eat her cooking every night. Have friends, but never choose them over her. No friends? You're boring. The list is literally designed to be impossible. It's a psychological torture device disguised as standards. So when men finally leave or refuse to enter in the first place, women are shocked. Shocked! How can he be happy alone? Because alone means no more contradiction, no more walking on eggshells, no more apologizing for breathing. Alone means your time is yours, your money is yours, your peace is yours. Video games stop being immature and start being joy. The gym stops being selfish and starts being therapy. Silence stops being scary and becomes sacred. Men aren't angry anymore. We're relieved. We're calm. We're building businesses, lifting heavier, traveling lighter, sleeping deeper. We discovered something women never expected. Bad company is infinitely worse than no company at all. A toxic relationship ages you faster than hard drugs. Constant criticism is slow-acting poison. We didn't go MGTW because we hate women. We went MGTW because we finally started loving ourselves. And the best part? We're not broken. We're not scared. We just stopped playing a game that was rigged from the beginning. You stop playing because the dating market itself has become a brutal joke, and every honest man can see it. Women keep screaming, "Where are all the good men?" while simultaneously rating 80% of men below average in attractiveness. Think about that for a second. Mathematically, 50% should be below average, but 80%? That's not a glitch. That's hypergamy on steroids, fueled by dating apps that give the average woman the validation of a celebrity. The result is simple. Every woman from a 4 to a 9 believes she deserves a top-tier man, and only a top-tier man. The top 20% of men now swim in endless options. The bottom 80% get crumbs or nothing. Those top men, they aren't rushing to wife anyone up. Why would they? They can date multiple women at once, spin plates, enjoy variety, and still have women fighting over the boyfriend label that never quite gets given. Meanwhile, the reliable, decent, average guy, the one who would actually show up, pay the bills, and stay loyal, is invisible. Women would rather share a Chad than build with a Brad. Then they turn around and cry that all the good men are taken or jerks. No. The good man looked at the deal, ran the numbers, and quietly walked away. Add 20 years of social programming on top. Don't approach at the gym. Don't talk to her at work. Don't look too long in public. Don't send a DM. Don't compliment her outfit. Basically, don't breathe in her direction unless you're in the top 10% of looks and have a verified blue check. Men listened. We followed instructions perfectly. We left women alone. Mission accomplished. Now the same voices are confused about the silence. You can't spend 2 decades calling normal male attention creepy and toxic masculinity, then act shocked when that attention disappears overnight. Men are literal creatures. You said, "Leave us alone." We did. The fact that you secretly meant, "Leave us alone unless you're 6'3" with a jawline and a six-pack," is not our responsibility to decode. The risk-reward equation is insane now. One clumsy compliment can cost a man his job, his reputation, or land him on a viral creep video with millions of views. False accusations, Me Too fallout, social media mobs, the downside is catastrophic. The upside is maybe a phone number. No sane man is taking that bet anymore. Cold politeness and distance became the only rational insurance policy. Meanwhile, influencers and podcasts keep pumping poison into women's ears. Never settle. You're a queen. He should pay for everything, but you don't owe him commitment. Level up your standards. If he wanted to, he would. The message is clear. Treat men like disposable utilities. Demand everything, give nothing. The result? An army of entitled, chronically dissatisfied women wondering why their inbox is empty and their body count is climbing, while marriage offers are 0. Dating turned into Amazon Prime. Endless options, one-click checkout, free returns. Why fix anything when you can just swipe for a new one? Why invest when someone better might be one match away? Commitment became the sucker's choice, and men, for once, stopped being the suckers. Social media made it worse. Everyone compares their real life to someone else's highlight reel. She sees a blogger's Maldives proposal, but not the bankruptcy behind it. She sees the flowers and the private jet, but not the cheating. You will always lose against a curated fantasy. So ordinary men looked at the scoreboard and said, hard pass. Young guys watch their fathers get financially and emotionally destroyed in divorce courts, lose half their assets, lose access to their kids, then still pay alimony to the woman who made their life hell. They watched older brothers get cheated on, baby-trapped, or slowly criticized into shells of themselves, and they made a rational decision. Skip the entire chapter. No resentment, no ideology, just cold, clear math. The final nail? Men realize they don't actually need women to build an amazing life anymore. Good money, cheap travel, PlayStation, gym, crypto gains, brotherhood, occasional casual sex when the mood strikes, everything is available without a single argument about a cup in the sink. For the first time in human history, the average man can live like a king without ever saying, "Yes, dear." You finally understand that the fear of dying alone was never real. It was just the last chain society used to keep men in line. Once that chain snaps, everything changes. The energy that used to be drained by endless drama, apologies, and walking on eggshells is suddenly yours again. Men are redirecting it into businesses, bodies, bank accounts, passports, and peace of mind. They're lifting heavier, earning more, traveling farther, laughing louder, and sleeping deeper than at any point in their previous relationships. The loneliness epidemic everyone predicted never arrived. Instead, a contentment epidemic broke out among single men, and women can't figure out why their old manipulation tactics no longer work. Calls to man up, guilt trips about real men commit, shaming about Peter Pan syndrome, none of it lands anymore. Men just smile, mute the noise, and keep building. They discovered something terrifyingly simple. Life alone isn't lonely when you actually like yourself. When you have goals, brothers, hobbies, money in the bank, and zero daily criticism, a woman stops being a necessity and becomes an optional luxury, one with an extremely high entry price. And that price is no longer worth paying unless she brings genuine peace, respect, admiration, and lightness into your life. Anything less than that is a downgrade. Men are no longer willing to trade their mental health, their hairline, their sleep cycle, and their net worth for the privilege of being someone's emotional punching bag and walking wallet. The bar isn't "she's hot." The bar is now, does she make my life calmer, richer, and more fun than it already is when I'm alone? For the overwhelming majority, the answer is a quiet, decisive no. So the apartments stay quiet, the steaks keep grilling, the gym plates keep clanging, the bank accounts keep growing, the friend groups get tighter, the video games stay paused exactly where they were left because nobody is screaming that they're immature. The dishes sometimes sit in the sink overnight, and the world doesn't end. Men eat cereal for dinner at 11 p.m. while watching action movies at full volume, and it feels like rebellion, because it is. Every small act of laziness is actually reclaimed sovereignty. Health returns fast when the daily dose of cortisol disappears. Blood pressure drops, hair thickens, sleep becomes deep and dreamless. Anxiety that men didn't even realize they were carrying evaporates within months. One guy told me, "It took me a full year after the divorce to stop flinching every time my phone buzzed. I kept waiting for someone to tell me I was doing life wrong. Then I realized nobody's watching, nobody's judging. I'm free." Younger guys see this and copy the blueprint immediately. They're skipping the entire trap. No cohabitation, no codependence, no joint accounts, no "let's fix her" projects. They watch their dads and older brothers get drained dry and said, "Not me." They're building wealth, muscle, and experiences, while women in their late 20s and 30s suddenly discover that the pool they were warned about is very real, and they're on the wrong side of it. The message to men is clear and non-negotiable now. Stop tolerating disrespect. The second she starts a fight over nothing, leave the room. The second contempt enters her voice, end the conversation. The second she treats you like a utility instead of a man, walk. You teach people how to treat you by what you're willing to swallow. Never again. Women thought men would come crawling back the moment loneliness hit. Instead, men built lives so good that going back feels like volunteering for prison after tasting freedom. The silence isn't punishment, it's protection. The withdrawal isn't weakness, it's wisdom. So let them keep posting their confused videos. Let them keep asking where all the good men went. The good men didn't disappear, they just stopped playing a game where the only prize was more pain. They're right here, calm, strong, wealthy, healthy, and happier than they've ever been. Grilling steaks, stacking money, lifting weights, and enjoying the deepest peace most of them have ever known. And until someone shows up who genuinely adds to that peace instead of subtracting from it, the seats at the table will stay empty. Millions of men have made their choice: freedom over chaos, self-respect over begging, peace over performance. And honestly, they've never been happier. The revolution isn't coming, it's already here, and it's quiet, masculine, and unstoppable.